Hello and welcome back to TNWKS, the Now We Know show, the show where we discuss a topic of interest and by the end we will have learned something new and hopefully you will too. I'm Zak.
And I'm Buzz.
And in this week's episode we're going to be celebrating something known as Burt Gummer Day.
Burt Gummer Day?
Burt Gummer Day.
I wonder what that's all about. Let's find out.
If you enjoy the Now We Know show podcast, why not support Zak Wylde Productions on our Patreon page? Become an official ZWP patron for as little as £1 a month for exclusive early access to all our latest episodes, videos, behind the scenes, updates and more. So before we get into Burt Gummer Day, it's time for, you guessed it, Word of the Week. 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 Oh, I really like that one. Okay, so Word of the Week is all about old English words we don't use anymore. All you have to do is write down what you think it means in the comments. We will then reveal what it means at the end of the episode so you can find out if you got it right.
And that's only me today because Jack's not in the studio.
Yes, so the Word of the Week this week is...
What's it going to be?
Vomitorium.
Sorry?
Vomitorium.
Vomitorium.
Yes. Keep your theories to yourself. We'll find out at the end of the episode.
I shall.
So, Buzz, do you want a bit of interesting information about the Now We Know show podcast?
Yes.
Well, Zak Wylde Productions has, on YouTube at the moment, almost 1,000 subscribers. We're just a few away, so if you would be so kind as to subscribe to this channel, that would be perfect, and thank you very much.
Yes, we've been working hard for that 1,000 subscriptions.
Now it's time to find out all about Burt Gummer Day.
Yes, that's what the Now We Know show is all about. Learning about new things that we may have not heard of before.
So,
what is Burt Gummer Day?
How familiar are you with the Tremors franchise?
Are you asking me or the listeners?
You, Buzz, because
Okay.
you're the only one in here with me.
Well, you're kind of asking the listeners as well, because they're listening to it, and I'm sure they're going, I'm very familiar with Tremors, or maybe they're not.
That's what they're going to find out about.
So, me, you're
Yes,
asking me. Okay.
Tremors franchise.
The Tremors franchise. Well, perhaps I should explain to those people that might not be so familiar with the Tremors franchise. They might be saying, what is a Tremors franchise? What is Tremors? It's a film franchise.
Yes, it is.
So we're talking about a film franchise.
We've talked about film franchises before.
And this one is being celebrated because it is
Burt Gummer Day.
Burt Gummer Day.
Almost Burt Gummer Day. This episode is going to come out the day before Burt Gummer Day.
Okay, so when is Burt Gummer Day officially?
Officially, Burt Gummer Day is April the 14th. So that's the day after this podcast comes out.
Right, so that begs the question, since that I have... to answer your question first, I am reasonably familiar with the Tremors franchise, but to ask you a further question is, what's the Tremor franchise got to do with Burt Gummer and Burt Gummer Day?
Well, the thing is, the Tremors franchise, Burt Gummer is a survivalist character that appears in all 7 films of the franchise and a TV series. So he's basically started off as this kind of side character, but as the franchise went on throughout the movies, from about the 3rd one, he became kind of the main hero.
The main hero.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so how many... I can't think off the top of my head. You mentioned the films, you mentioned the TV series. How many films in total?
7 films.
7 films. So with a 7-film franchise, how has this turned round to becoming an official Burt Gummer Day? I mean, I've heard of things like May the 4th.
And Tolkien Reading Day. We did Tolkien Reading Day.
May the 4th being Star Wars Day.
Yep.
May the 4th be with you.
I think there's Alien Day at the end of April.
Alien Day as well. Okay, as you say, we've done Tolkien Reading Day, but we're focusing on Burt Gummer Day. So what is special about Burt Gummer Day?
So Burt Gummer Day was founded in 2017 by an Imager user called @BabyFarkMcGeeZax.
I'm glad you said that.
I've got it written down. To celebrate the legendary character of Burt Gummer.
Okay.
So at the end of the last film in the Tremors franchise, Tremors Shrieker Island, which came out in 2020, a message orders fans to celebrate Burt Gummer Day on April the 14th and to pay their taxes.
Wow. And that's in the credits?
That's in the credits, the end of the credits.
Wow.
It kind of goes with a compilation of all of different fun scenes from the franchise.
Right, because I've seen the movie once, but I don't remember what you just spoke about. So
Right.
I'm going to have to revisit that.
Yeah, I think it's kind of implied, and a bit of a spoiler warning here, that he does kind of die.
Okay. Don't say that.
But-
Don't say that.
He's such an amazing character.
Maybe he didn't.
Or maybe he could have survived. Who knows nowadays? You can bring back anyone.
Yes, exactly.
Somehow, Burt Gummer returned.
Ooh.
That was a Star Wars
So,
reference.
okay, I'm going to get a hold of my imaginary rope here and hand over hand pull my rope to pull it right back to the beginning, because out there we've got a lot of people that are probably listening and they don't even know what Tremors is, let alone who Burt Gummer is.
So who better to explain about Burt Gummer and Tremors than Burt Gummer himself?
My name is Burt Gummer, and I've been called many things. Gun enthusiast, monster hunter, doomsday prepper. I reject all these labels. What I am is a survivalist. I've scoured the dirt and dust of Nevada and Mexico, putting my life on the line to hunt supersized subterranean man-eating predators called Graboids. Using a combination of local knowledge, intuition, and firepower, I've managed to control this deadly species and keep them confined to the Northern Hemisphere. Join me as I enter into and beneath the sands of hell. 1,500 hours moving through the desert of Perfection, Nevada. Ground zero of the war with the Graboids. For those of you newcomers who don't have a clue about Graboids, let me bring you up to speed. The Graboid is a vicious subterranean predator about 30 feet in length with a semi-rigid internal structure. It senses its prey seismically and employs 3 powerful snake-like oral tentacles to ensnare its prey and pull it into the Graboid's gullet. It is not a pleasant venue. Trust me, I've been there. If that weren't enough, Graboids give birth to 3 ugly spawn we call Shriekers. Short, squat, and blind bipedal bad boys that sense and hunt their prey using infrared sensors. These in turn give rise to the Ass-Blaster, a winged predatory carnivore which uses a mixture of volatile chemicals in its nether regions to blast into the air and swoop down upon its victims. Ass-Blasters carry eggs that hatch and become new Graboids, beginning this hellish cycle anew. I've survived a great many skirmishes with Graboids along with their Shrieker and Ass-Blaster kin. And that makes me uniquely qualified to teach you how to survive whatever life throws at you. And remember, life and survival starts here. Who's hungry?
So that was Burt Gummer.
Burt Gummer himself.
Yes.
So Burt Gummer Day is a fan day.
Yes.
So if you're a fan of the franchise, of the films Tremors, just like if you're a Star Wars fan or anything else, then you're going to be celebrating
It
Burt
has
Gummer
been
Day.
calculated that you can watch all 7 Tremors movies and the TV series within the span of one day.
Within one day.
Yeah.
Oh, that seems kind of a bit sad, really. You kind of want it to be more than that.
Well, you could spread it out over a week. There you
I
go.
haven't seen the TV series.
No, we're going to get onto that because we're
Okay.
going to go through the movies now.
Okay. I mean, I've got to say, the movies actually are really good movies. And the first, I know they're kind of like, maybe some people might see them as kind of B movies. The original one, though, has got kind of more of a star-studded cast in there. But because it was such a good, fun movie, that's why it got the snowball effect of the rest of it coming after. People wanted more.
Yeah.
And I have watched them all, and I've really enjoyed them myself. They are good, fun movies.
Okay, so we're talking about the first Tremors movie.
Okay, the first Tremors movie.
First Tremors movie. So its main success actually came from the home video market. On its theatrical run, it didn't actually do very well.
Okay, well, to be honest with you, can you tell me what year that came out?
1990.
1990. So, yeah, but basically just flipped out of the 80s. Yeah, I mean, during the 80s, that's when we hit Blockbuster. We were, Blockbuster towards the end of the 80s. Definitely, I don't know when Blockbuster really took. I mean, right at the beginning of the 80s when people started to have VHS, took over from Betamax, but we had VHS video recorders and players in our homes. That the independent video stores really boomed. So I had a card for several different video stores, and that was the thing. It was an experience to go out and choose a movie rather than watch something on the TV. And because, as you say, that market probably exploded, during especially the late 80s and into the early 90s, that's probably where I went and saw Tremors for the first time, was because I've been into a video store and found that movie.
Okay, so what do you specifically remember about the first Tremors movie? Can you remember the plots?
I can, because out of all the Tremors movies, that one...
It's probably the most kind of...
Well, it's the one I've seen...
It's the most scary, I'd say.
It's a movie that I've seen... I couldn't count how many times I've seen it.
I mean, they always put it on TV.
I mean, I haven't seen it as many times as other movies, but it's a movie that if it's on TV...
I'll watch it.
I'll probably carry on watching it. If I'm halfway through or wherever, I'll watch it because it's a really good movie. As you say, Okay, you said it didn't do too well at the box office,
but it has gained over the years that cult following that has made it so special.
I suppose that's what therefore leads on to the fact that you say cult following, hence why we are celebrating Burt Gummer Day.
Precisely.
It had
Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon, that's it. Had Kevin Bacon in it.
Your Kevin Bacon scores 3, if I'm
Yeah, I've got a Kevin Bacon score of 3.
I think mine's 2.
So this is... Can you explain what a Kevin Bacon score
well, this is a bit of a sidetrack. The Kevin Bacon score is your association to Kevin Bacon because he's been in so many movies.
Yep.
And if you've been in movies...
Which I have.
And so have I. Your link to Kevin Bacon via other actors working alongside him, if that makes sense.
Okey-dokey. I can't think off the top of my head if I've actually worked in a movie that's had Kevin Bacon directly in it, or have I?
I don't think so. But, what's your link to him? I can't remember.
Oh.
This was a while ago, but I can remember mine. My link to Kevin Bacon was working on Pan.
Mm-hmm.
So, on Pan, I worked with Hugh Jackman.
Right.
Hugh Jackman worked with Kevin Bacon on X-Men First Class.
Right, gotcha.
They didn't work together, but they were in the same movie. That's a link
I see
for
what
me.
you're saying, but I've got a score of 3.
Yes.
I'll have to go and look at it. Look it up again.
Look it up. Look up the Kevin Bacon score.
See what score you've got. But yeah, Kevin Bacon was in it, and several other well-known actors at the time.
Had Fred Ward.
Yeah, it was a good film, enjoyable film, and it was kind of like, would you classify it as a science fiction horror?
Yeah, it's kind of like a creature feature, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a creature feature. Fun, exciting, got you on the edge of the seat.
Yeah, because for a lot of it, you didn't actually know
what the creature was.
But then obviously it was revealed that it's this big giant underworm.
Underworm? It's an under the ground travelling worm
thingy, a prehistoric worm thingy,
which is called a graboid.
A graboid, yes.
Oh, actually, I like the design of them.
Yeah, very good. The practical effects in the first movie are phenomenal.
That's the thing, because like with all movies, I have this big hoo-ha between practical effects and CGI, and you need practical effects.
Yeah, well, you can obviously see that as the films go on, they obviously transition through that kind of early 2000s CGI that kind of looks a bit ropey nowadays, but it has, in recent years, the recent sequels, they have been a lot better CG-wise.
Okay, but I still like the practical effects.
Oh, yes.
Practical orcs and Uruk-hai in Lord of the Rings to CGI ones. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But anyway,
don't even get me started on werewolves.
But Burt Gummer, it was interesting listening to Burt Gummer himself a few moments ago. He calls himself a survivalist. You see, I would have always said he was a prepper because we meet him in his house.
Yeah, in his
on a hill,
prepping bunker room.
He's got a bunker.
He's prepared for everything, except the one thing that happens.
The one thing that happens. The great thing, there is a character in there which doesn't appear in any of the other movies.
Who's that?
And that's his wife.
Oh, yes.
Which is a real shame, because the actress who played his wife in the original movie, I really liked her character.
Yeah.
And it's a real shame that they didn't continue as a tag team.
Good tag team, weren't they?
And of course, further down the line, which one is the... is it Back to Perfection? I'm talking about the one where it's a prequel.
Oh, the prequel one. Yeah. That's the 4th one. The Legend Begins. It's the cowboy one.
The cowboy one. And there would have been an opportunity that if the if you want to say current Burt Gummer has for some reason split up with his wife in those movies, that they could have gone back and revisited, because that obviously wasn't Burt Gummer. himself, that was Burt Gummer's ancestor. They could,
played by Michael Gross, who is Burt Gummer.
Burt Gummer. But they could have revisited his wife in that one.
Yeah, that would have been good. That would have been good.
So that's a shame. But she was a great character.
So, you got any memorable moments from the first Tremors movie?
First Tremors movie. I think it's you've kind of already touched upon it. I think it was the fact that you didn't know what was going on. You kept having, you're finding people up. I'm spoilers here, but you're finding people up electric pylons.
Yeah.
That have not been able to get down, and they've basically
died of dehydration.
And then road workers disappearing and things like this.
Like a slightly buried head.
Yeah, and even then, when you did get the first kind of reveal, it still wasn't the full creature.
No, because it was kind of implied that it was like a group of tentacles.
Well, it was like a group of snakes.
Yeah, the little mouth
it's
snakes.
It's like, well, what do you call them? Oral snake
things.
Tentacles. Oral tentacles.
Yeah, there
you think that they're the creature, and they're not.
No, they're part of it.
They're part of it. It's, I suppose, a bit like an anglerfish.
Yeah.
Yeah, where the anglerfish has its little sort of
dangly
bioluminescent. Get my teeth in. Bioluminescent thing that dangle. That's what it's got, an anglerfish. Like it's on a fishing rod over its mouth, and along comes a little fish. Oh, that looks interesting. And then whap, it's got. So yeah, I think that. Yeah, because the movie moved along without the big reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. And it had some good stunt work in there.
I liked the humour. The humour as well.
Yeah. I mean, the two lead characters. What was the name of the other character? Because I can't think of the actor's name, but he was in. Was it Remo?
Fred Ward.
So Fred Ward and Kevin Bacon.
I think the character was Frank Bassett. Earl Bassett.
Earl Bassett.
There you go.
It was Earl. That's it. It was Earl. And,
do you remember who Kevin Bacon played?
Yeah, he was Valentine.
There you go.
Valentine. And they meet Rhonda.
Yes.
See, Rhonda's the...
doing seismic surveys.
Yeah, she's a geologist doing seismic surveys. And the three of them worked really well in that first movie.
It's a shame they didn't come back. Well, we had Earl come back, and obviously Burt kind of took over from the rest of them.
But that was surprising. That was the thing. So we're celebrating Burt Gummer Day, and the fact is his character just had this universal appeal. I think everybody just kind of like really loved the fact that how he approached and dealt with everything. Yeah. And I say it's interesting that there's that kind of different designation between a survivalist and a prepper. I always thought he was a prepper, and he says himself he's a survivalist. Which makes you think, well, what's the difference between a survivalist and a prepper?
Maybe we could explore that in one of our prepping episodes.
Yeah, we could do. I mean, technically, a survivalist is somebody who practices the raw survival techniques to get through something, whereas a prepper just like preps to make sure they've got enough supplies to get them through something. But I would say he was kind of both prepper and survivalist.
Well, we've got a lot to get through.
Okay, so
maybe we should move on to Tremors 2, Aftershocks.
Okay, this is where we're introduced to a different creature, isn't it?
Yes, so it's revealed that the next stage of the Graboids' life cycle is to kind of burst open and produce several Shriekers. Which can see via
they've got
kind of like predator vision.
Yeah, it's got a thing on its top of its head which splits open.
Yeah.
And it's got like a
thermal sensor.
Membrane.
Yeah.
That then acts like a thermal vision.
The one thing I will say about the second movie...
Well, they walk, don't they?
Yeah, they run. They run. And shriek.
They're bipeds.
Yeah. The one thing I will say about the second movie is it was probably the last one I actually saw. I don't know why. I just circumstantially, for whatever reason, my go-to one was Tremors 3. And I always watched that as a kid. Okay. Whereas the second one, I never managed to ever really see it until a lot later.
I'm getting memories of the second one, especially like trying to hide behind things like galvanized steel roofing and stuff. But, and I need to say again, with these Graboids, it's not that they're like alien creatures.
No.
They are actually prehistoric, but they have been...
In hibernation,
yeah. So that's an interesting... I like that because it's kind of an interesting twist.
Definitely. Well, I think they even theorise about where they came from in the first film. I think somebody said they were aliens.
Well, that was kind of like... everybody's speculating. The characters are speculating.
And I think that ambiguity kind of lends itself to kind of the mythos, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And anyway, so we've got the second stage, as you're saying, which are the Shriekers.
This was in...
And they're called Shriekers because they
shriek. They make that funny noise.
Yep.
That was a terrible impression.
Which is unlike you, because you do very good
I
impressions.
do good impressions.
Yeah.
This came out in 1996, so 6 years later.
Okay, so obviously there was enough traction for somebody to head, to go to producers and say, "Can you put up the money to?"
Personally, I really like this movie. I really like the second one.
I think I need to revisit it.
Oh, we'll do it after this. There were the inkling of some very dodgy CG shots of the Shriekers, but they were never going to be able to do that with the physical effects.
So with the Shriekers and with this one, do we have, apart from Burt Gummer, who's obviously in every single one of the movies, do we have any of the other characters back?
We have Earl.
Earl is back in it.
Yeah, he kind of takes the centre stage, and then Burt comes along about halfway through.
Right, okay. So after the second movie, then we move on to...
Tremors 3, Back to Perfection.
Okay.
So it's
Perfection is the actual
Perfection,
town.
Nevada.
Yeah, it's the town in Nevada. It's called Perfection, and it happens to be literally in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's got nothing going for it.
Except Graboids.
Graboids.
So they kind of, in the third one, try and make out a kind of tourist attraction of the Graboids.
Yep. Okay, but that's when we get the Ass-Blasters.
Yes, they've gone on to their third life cycle.
Yeah, because it has to be said, right from the first movie, the creatures haven't got an actual name.
No.
It's the residents that basically come up with the term Graboid.
Yeah.
Then come up with the term
Shrieker,
that's it. And then, because these other ones can fly...
And they shoot fire out their butts.
they have these like chemical explosion out of their butts, and they've got like membrane wings.
Yeah, it's quite the outlandish design, but I really like it.
It's kind of ridiculous, but in a fun way.
Yeah, well, that's good.
So again,
that's
they
good.
call them Ass-Blasters
because
they blast off using their asses. It has to be seen.
Again, the CG on the Ass-Blasters in this one, not amazing, but as a kid...
What year was this?
This one... Third one was 2001.
Right, so we're early days of decent CGI, would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First scene in the third one is when he's dealing with a load of Shriekers.
Right.
And do you remember it? He's basically has a news crew, and then he gets that big kind of turret thing out.
Hang on. This is Burt Gummer,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Burt Gummer is, as we've already said, a survivalist, but he is basically... Throughout the movies, it's all about the weapons, isn't it?
Yeah.
And how he dispatches...
Different ways of
dispatching
killing...
the creatures.
Oh, definitely. What's your favourite? Like, tremor kill, if you will? Is it going to be the RC remote control cars with the explosives?
Well, I mentioned the RC cars. That's RC, not RC, if you're English. They're fun, and I did mention to you the other day. But for some reason, it's like... I like the original scene with him and his wife in the basement when they are being attacked.
Oh, they're just blasting the hell out of them.
He's literally trying to smash his way through this bunker wall. They built the bunker thinking that, it doesn't matter if there's a nuclear strike or anything.
We're sorted.
And then this thing is just attacking the wall of the bunker from underground and slowly knocking its way through. And then when it bursts, that's a great thing because that isn't CGI. They've mapped over a bigger
it was like a model.
And then they're literally grabbing guns after guns
flares,
after guns.
Flares, shotguns,
and
elephant rifles.
That's great because the wife, Heather, I think her name is saying, chuck me this, chuck me that, chuck me this. And then it eventually gets to the elephant gun.
Yeah.
And that leads me on to the fourth movie.
Yes.
Right, which is, what was that one called?
The Legend Begins.
The Legend Begins.
I think this is probably one of your favourites.
Yeah, and that's because you've kind of led me into this one. Because in that one, we see Burt Gummer, and he is totally...
Against guns.
It's
a complete character.
Completely against guns, hasn't held a gun, doesn't shoot a gun.
Doesn't want to.
Has nothing to do with guns. But we run through the movie, and eventually he gets to that point, and he ends up with that huge punt gun, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You know, it's like a big punt gun on the back of a wagon, and it's just like crazy gun. You know?
I really like the fourth one.
And of course, that's when we see the development of, if you like, the
Start.
the start of where Burt Gummer's lineage comes from when he suddenly switches from I hate guns, I'm not touching them, to suddenly, yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah, at the end of it, it's like he's got a Gatling gun.
Oh, again, we're gonna have to revisit. Please, if you haven't watched them, listeners, you got to watch these.
Definitely,
movies.
definitely,
If you just
definitely
want a bit
recommended.
of light entertainment, fun. You know, good bit of humour in there. Yeah, they're great movies. I can appreciate why it came up with Burt Gummer Day.
Yeah, I really think the Western aesthetic lended itself to the franchise because it was probably the most out there one of the films.
Because that was where they actually found the eggs in a gold mine, wasn't it?
Well, that was the thing. They had a mine, but then it got attacked and everyone was getting killed in the mine, so they got in some cowboy mercenary type people to kind of find out what was going on, and they were referring to things as dirt dragons.
Dirt dragons. And
it was then discovered later on in the movie that these eggs that were kind of encased in kind of sand and stuff had been, that hot spring had activated them and they'd hatched.
This is really where we end up getting that kind of dormant. They're in sort of hibernation from whatever Jurassic period it's from, and that's when they become uncovered through the mining.
And then you see kind of like a juvenile version. They kind of look like caterpillars and they fly through the air, which is quite fun.
Right. Yeah, I like Burt Gummer Day. I am you are sort of reinstilling images in my mind, and I'm thinking, why haven't I watched these movies again?
I know. They're just such a good
I suppose
blast.
the thing is with Burt Gummer Day, although we're celebrating the character of Burt Gummer, it is the franchise though, isn't it? It's the whole thing of Tremors.
Yeah.
You could call it Tremors Day if you like, but you know, Burt Gummer is such a great character.
He's the staple.
Yeah.
Other than the actual creatures themselves, he's the reason you're there.
Yeah. I suppose, go slightly off tangent here, and people sometimes, if you're in a different country, you might not understand what I'm talking about, but look it up. I suppose it's a bit like, for me, Blake 7.
Yeah.
You might say, what on earth has Burt Gummer got to do with Blake 7?
Yeah, I'm going to ask you that question. What has Burt Gummer got to do with Blake 7?
Burt Gummer hasn't himself got anything to do with the TV series from the 70s, Blake 7, but Villa is the only, it was one of Blake 7's, what would you call them, mercenaries? He was the very reluctant.
He was one of Blake's 7.
Yeah, he was very reluctant. He was like the locksmith. But he's the only one that appeared in every single one of the Blake 7 episodes.
Wow.
So he's the only character that is actually in every single episode.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and Villa is actually a really good character.
But he's a side character.
He's a side character.
He's not your main guy, but he's always there.
He's always there. You know, so yeah, that's why it had that kind of like tenuous connection for me.
Well, they are then.
You know.
So the fourth film was in 2004.
Okay.
After that, we have a big gap. The next one came out in 2015.
That is a big gap.
And the CGI has thankfully gotten a lot better.
Okay, now you're going to have to remind me, which one's this?
Bloodlines. This is the one where they go to South Africa.
I have little to no memory of this one.
Basically, the whole thing about it is the Graboids are bigger, more dangerous, and
they call for Burt Gummer to come.
They call for Burt Gummer to save the day.
I kind of recall, is he sort of like, do the people that have called him over to South Africa, have they sort of like given him a truck full of weapons and stuff?
Well, the thing was, he took all his weapons to South Africa, but he couldn't get them through customs, so he's got to deal with the Graboids with the weapons he has available, and that's just a couple of hunting rifles, bow and arrow, a couple of bits like that.
I kind of remember a scene, maybe it's not that movie, but him turning up in this big old army truck with just literally its...
I think that's the second one.
Is it?
That's the second one.
Okay.
Because he's called in specifically to deal with them.
I really don't have any memories of this movie. What kind of rating would you give it? You know, since there's been such a gap since the previous movie, and suddenly, obviously, this is what 11 years, is it?
Yeah, 11 years after.
So we've suddenly got this resurgence. Let's do another one. Did they do it well?
I think they did. Because after this one, they obviously had 2 more sequels.
Okay. And did they come close succession?
A couple of years apart.
Okay, so it must have got a bit of traction there when they.
It was definitely a good revival.
So they revived it, and that was obviously well accepted. And then we moved to the movie after that, which is
A Cold Day in Hell.
Hang on a second, is this the one that I'm thinking of?
This is the one you're thinking of?
So this one, they filmed it, and it's in the snow.
Yes.
And they've kind of colour graded it, haven't they?
I don't think it's actually snow, but they make it out as if it is snow.
Is that colour grading they've done on the movie, or is it a filter they've literally just bonked over the top of it all?
Not all of it.
Yeah, but the thing was, it's so obvious that it's filmed in the desert. You know, this is not snow, this is sand. But they're meant to be in the Arctic, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they're in kind of Canada or
somewhere
up there.
Somewhere in North America, high in the Arctic Circle. And it's really weird because I remember watching that and thinking, this is not snow. This is not snow. They are obviously on sand dunes.
Yeah.
And they've put an icy blue filter or something on it.
Well, you did have the Travis character who was first appeared in the fifth one, which is made out to be Burt Gummer's son and also his cameraman.
Okay.
But the thing with the sixth one is he kind of took more of a centre role. For most of it, Burt Gummer was kind of afflicted with like a graboid illness, and they had to get a cure for this illness.
Was there a reason for that? Was it because the actor who plays Burt Gummer?
Michael Gross.
Okay, so was it one of those situations where they couldn't get him to do the main character? And
well, he's the main character, but during the movie he kind of steps back for a bit because he's afflicted by this.
Do you think that was intentional?
Virus?
That the movie makers were trying to think, or maybe we've pushed the Burt Gummer too far, and we need a new character to come through?
Possibly. I think it was left at the end of that movie kind of like a passing over point.
Right, because I kind of felt like that. Again, I'm going to jump movies now. Kind of felt like that with Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull.
Yeah, but that didn't work out.
Because that had Shia LaBeouf in it.
Yeah.
And he kind of felt that he was meant to like take over the Indiana Jones role. And for me, it kind of like nosedived.
Yeah.
So did the same thing occur in this?
Yeah, kind of. I wasn't particularly taken back by the sixth one because I think the title promised a lot, but it just kind of felt like just another Tremors movie.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You kind of go, I want Burt Gummer back.
Yeah, yeah. They cured him in the end, and he obviously got the affliction because he got eaten in the third one, and it was obviously lingering.
He got what in the third one?
Eaten.
Not Aiton.
Eaten?
Aiton? I don't know who Aiton is.
Well, maybe Graboids eaten people.
Maybe they eaten a lot of people. But, okay, so he got eaten, and obviously he got eaten, and he got himself out.
Yes.
I hope he didn't come out
He got chainsawed out.
Oh, Chainsaw Wrath is better than the poop shoot.
I'm telling you all the good bits here, okay? Just watch the movie.
Well,
watch the movie.
These are tidbits.
Okay, tidbits.
Tidbits to go and see. So we've got it, Cold Day in Hell.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's obviously in the Arctic.
Mm-hmm.
And so-so. Worth watching still, though?
Yeah, still watching as part of...
If you're a fan, you're going to watch it. I suppose it's a bit like if you're a Star Wars fan, you're still going to end up watching The Rise of Skywalker, even though you wish you hadn't.
Yeah.
Maybe it was better than that.
It was better than that. I think with the recent films, the thing was, where are we going to see the Graboids and Tremors next? Where are we going to see them next? Because it was like South Africa, Arctic. Where are they going to go next?
This is kind of how I feel about Avatar. You know, we've been in the jungle. Now we've had the water.
Yeah.
Now I'm expecting the desert.
Well, it's supposed to be volcanoes.
It's volcanoes. So volcanoes. So you kind of feel like we're just like different topography, just as an excuse to have a different type of tribe.
Yeah, because I think they kind of exhausted their ideas on the life cycle of like what type of Graboid, shrieker thing are we going to see next?
As Burt said earlier, there seems to be three: Graboid,
Shrieker,
Ass-Blaster, back to Graboid.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after that,
that was number
6. That was Cold Day in Hell. That came out in 2018.
Okay. That was what? 15 was the previous movie.
Yep.
So a couple of years after this.
2 years after that, surprisingly, out of nowhere, we got another one. Tremors, Shrieker Island.
Right, this was the final.
This is the final movie.
Well, so far the final.
So far the final movie.
Yeah, and I do recall watching this one.
Yes.
I think I have only seen it once.
It didn't have the Travis character in it.
Yay!
Because I think it was something to do with behind the scenes
goings
on with that. But Again, Burt Gummer takes the centre stage.
Yay!
for
Go,
his-
Burt Gummer.
For his supposed final outing
Right.
as Burt Gummer.
Okay.
This time, it's set on kind of tropical islands.
Okay. There's kind of a clue in the title.
Yes. I think it was originally called Island Fury.
And what's it called?
Tremors Shrieker Island.
Yeah, I think I prefer that title.
Yeah.
Kind of already says what you're expecting to watch.
Yeah, I think it's made out that on these islands, this kind of rich trophy hunter guy has kind of put graboids there to
Hunt them. Yeah.
and to get other people to hunt them, but it all goes completely
It all goes
wrong.
wrong as it always does in these
Yes.
kind of movies.
So they
Just like
call in.
Jurassic
They
Park.
call in.
It's like a mini Jurassic Park, isn't it?
Yeah, they call in Burt Gummer
Yeah,
to
they're
save
on
the
that
day.
island of Issa, whatever it is.
Issa Nublar.
Yeah.
Nublar?
I don't know. And anyway,
Isla Sorna?
and the dinosaurs get out.
Run havoc.
So it's like, yay.
But yeah, I think
Tried and tested storyline.
the seventh one was really good. I really liked it.
Well, I remember seeing it, and I say I've only seen it once, but I have no complaints over it.
I think that what I really liked about it is they referenced a load of other movies I liked. It was like
I like-
Rambo,
yeah,
Godzilla.
I do like
Stuff
it
like
when,
that.
when movies do give a little nod to other things.
We have to watch that again as well.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go through. We're gonna have to line up and have. You said we could watch it all in a day.
Yeah, Tremors-a-thon.
Tremors-a-thon, if that's a thing. We'll make it a thing. If it's not,
Tremathon.
if it's not a thing, it will be
Yeah, we're going to make a Tremathon a thing.
a Tremathon a thing.
Yeah,
Tremathon a thing.
don't say that
Don't say
10 times fast.
10 times fast. Tremathon a thing.
No, no, no.
All right,
Stop,
okay.
stop it. Right, so what we're going to do now is do a quick overview of the TV series.
Right, now this is something I didn't even know until I came into the studio
Yeah.
today. That there
So
was a TV series.
technically, there are 2 TV series to do with Tremors.
Right, so these are spin-offs.
Yes. So the main one,
Yep.
again based around Burt Gummer,
Okay.
was 1 season.
How
Unfortunately,
many episodes do you know?
I think
Usually
13. I think
So there's quite a
13
few.
episodes.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that. But
Do we find ourselves back in Nevada?
back in Nevada, I think it follows the graboid of El Blanco, who is the white
Ah,
graboid
the white
from
one,
the
yeah.
third
El
one.
Blanco.
Yeah. I think there's a couple of other mutations.
I forgot about El Blanco.
A couple of other mutant creatures going around,
Okay,
and they've got to sort
okay.
all those out. But I think that's
love
the general gist.
El Blanco.
I've seen.
I tell you, I'm gonna need a white cat. A white cat and call him El Blanco.
We've got a couple. Oh. I've seen a couple of clips, but I haven't seen anything very substantially because
So
in
where-
England
where-
it's not very readily available.
I was going to ask you that. Where can we see this?
If we get a multi-region DVD player,
Yep.
then we can get the American DVD.
DVDs. So it's been released on not Blu-ray. This is
Just
solid
DVD.
DVD. So that's a region 1.
Region 1.
And then you can watch it. But there's no streaming service. That does
Not
it.
to my knowledge, no.
Okay. We could. I'll tell you what. After the show, we'll try My Drama. See if it's on there.
Go for
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is still with Burt Gummer,
that. Still with Burt Gummer.
back in Nevada.
Yeah.
So we're back to back to perfection again.
Yes.
Okay. So come back to the roots.
So this TV series that
Yep.
we're currently kind of breezing over,
Mm-hmm.
this came out between the 3rd and 4th one. So after the
Third
third
and fourth
one,
movie.
yeah,
Right. Well, that during that big gap.
no. So between 2001 and 2004, that's
Oh, right.
that's
okay.
when
So they put,
this
slotted it
TV
in there.
series hit.
Yeah, they slotted it in there. Right. Okay. But you mentioned 2.
Second one, which was supposed to come out in 2018,
Again, much later.
unfortunately, without Burt Gummer,
Oh dear.
was the Kevin Bacon reboot.
Oh really?
Do you remember that kind of promo trailer for a pilot episode of a series called Tremors? We've seen it.
I think
we have
so. And
seen
this
it.
is with Kevin Bacon.
It's with Kevin Bacon.
Oh right. Is it?
The design of the Tremors, or Graboids, look completely different. They're kind of wormy and kind of like a predator tentacle face.
All
thing.
right.
Look it up.
Predators don't have tentacle faces.
Well, kind of prongy.
Prongy. Okay.
Prongy faces.
Okay. Okay.
Just look it up. Look it up.
Okay. And was that basically a pilot? And
It was
flopped?
They did a pilot episode, but it wasn't released anywhere. If it was, then it didn't
can't.
do very well, and you can't really find it.
So it's just one singular episode
One singular pilot episode to kind of kickstart a new series of Tremors
with Kevin Bacon.
with Kevin Bacon.
And it didn't happen.
Unfortunately, it got cancelled.
Maybe it's because Guardians of the Galaxy kidnapped him. Well, they did in the Christmas special.
that was too.
It's all right. It's all right. I'm just going off tangent.
Yeah, going off tangent
Okay.
there.
Okay, so Kevin Bacon, bless him, Kevin Bacon's like in everything.
Yes.
You know, I mean, he's been in some fantastically well-known movies, but he's also been in some more obscure movies. Because one movie that I remember Kevin Bacon in, which I really enjoyed the movie, and that's Super.
Oh yeah.
You know,
That was a good one.
yeah, he's the bad guy there, and that was a good movie, that one. So we'll have to have look out and see if we can find that pilot episode again.
Yes.
I'm definitely going to go for that TV series with Burt Gummer.
Okay, so Buzz, I'm going to put you on the spot now.
Oh, no.
Hopefully, I've reignited your fandom for the Tremors franchise.
You certainly have, and you've brought back some memories.
That's good. That's good. I wanted to do that
You've got the pilot light going.
because now
Oh yes.
I'm going to start a little impromptu quiz.
Oh no, a quiz.
This is about the first movie.
I've got nobody else to help me today.
Yep. So it's all on you.
Okay, listeners, you can join in too.
So we're going to say it. Let's get quizzical, quizzical. I want to get quizzical. Let's get into quizzical. Let me hear your mind.
tremors, thinking, whatever. I don't know.
Okay.
Where's Jack when
we
you need
really
him?
need Jack back
Yeah.
to do one of these.
I need Jack back.
Okie dokie. So, first question.
Okay, hang in there with me, listeners. Come on.
What does Walter decide to name the monsters?
Is this going to be multiple choice?
Multiple choice.
This is Walter Chang.
Yes, I think so.
That's the shop owner.
Yes, correct. Well
See?
done. That was a bonus question.
Okay.
Okay, number 1.
Yep.
Snakeoids.
Snakeoids.
2. Graboids.
Cowboys.
3. Godzilla.
Because I'm a snake. Oh, we've got another.
4. Yoda.
No, it's going to be snakeoids.
You sure?
Yeah.
Really?
Hang on, what was it again? Snakeoids?
Graboids. Godzilla or Yoda?
He's not the one who names them Graboids, is he? All right, I'm going Graboids.
Okay, playing it safe. Question 2.
Oh, you're not going to tell me.
I guess
then?
you're going to find out at the end.
Okay.
How many of these Graboids are there just in the first Tremors movie?
In the first Tremors movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Is it 4, 2, 8, or 84?
1. So the choice is
4, 2, 8, or 84?
well, it ain't going to be 84. 8? What sort of English is that? It is not going to be 84. I shall say... I'm just trying to think of how they get killed. There's one that comes through the concrete wall in a drainage ditch. One that goes straight out of the canyon wall. That would be 2. I'm just trying to think if they blew... I'm going to say 4.
We can go through the answers at the end.
Okay. This is on an electronic device.
This is on an electronic device. This is a pre-made quiz, not made by me.
Okay.
What is the
I'll let you
name of the valley?
The valley?
Perfection, peppercorn,
It's perfection.
champion, or sun?
It's perfection. We know that.
Boom.
Who did this quiz?
Well, actually, in the cowboy one, it's rejection, Nevada.
Rejection.
And then they change it to perfection afterwards.
Well, I thought they changed it to perfection in order to try and draw people in to live there.
Walter sold photos of you and the snake monster. How much did he charge?
That's a better question. That's a difficult one. $10. Do I get a multiple choice?
You do get multiple choice.
Okay.
$1, $1.50, $3, or $8.
Oh, $8.
Click.
He's a shop owner. He wants to make money.
Sorry, that's the wrong answer.
Oh, was it?
All the other ones you got right.
Oh, I'm down 1.
Oh no. Guess again.
Guess again?
Guess again to that one.
I can guess again, can
Yeah.
I? $3.
Correct.
Yay!
Okay. What is the population of perfection? 1,400, 140, 14, or 4?
14.
14.
Yay!
Correct.
Ha-ha!
Who was Megan?
Who was Megan?
Their contact in Jacksburg, the doctor's wife, Mindy's mother, or Bert's wife?
No, Bert's wife is Heather. Mindy's mother.
Sorry, incorrect.
Oh no.
Going back. Try again.
What were the choices again?
Their contact in Jacksburg,
Okay.
the doctor's wife, Mindy's mother, or Bert's wife?
Well, okay, well, it's not Mindy's mother. We know that now. It's not the doctor's wife.
Correct.
Hey! I was going to say, I couldn't think of a connection back in.
Who said, I'm betting on outer space? No way. These are local boys. Val, Walter, Miguel, or Earl?
Earl.
Correct.
Yay!
Next question. In Val and Earl's truck, what's the colour of their big dice?
What, fairy dice?
Yeah.
Gosh.
That's a very specific question.
Yeah, it's a very specific
Black,
question.
green, white, or grey?
Black, white, green, or grey? White.
Wrong.
Oh,
Try again.
I'll go black.
Black. Wrong.
Oh, grey.
Wrong.
Oh, it's green then.
It's green then.
Oh, the fluffy dice obviously didn't get me.
Question 9. What does it say on the side of the cesspool tank?
The cesspool tank.
Chang's you rent cesspool septic pump. Cesspool septic pump cheap rent. Rent this for $10. Phone 128675. Property of Chang's Market.
The first one.
Correct.
Yay!
That was very lucky. Was that a guess?
Well, kind of.
Oh, you'll like this one.
Okay, not a lot.
Question 10.
Okay,
What gun did Burt use to finish off the Graboid in his rec room?
that's got to be the elephant gun.
Elephant gun?
It's the elephant gun.
S80
Elephant
rifle?
gun.
Pump action shotgun?
Elephant gun.
Magnum
It's
F50?
the elephant gun.
Correct.
Yay!
Question 11. Approximately how heavy was the cat?
Oh,
2 tons? 15 tons? 30 tons? Or 45 tons?
say again.
2 tons? 15 tons? 30 tons? Or 45 tons?
I think 2 tons is not enough for the cat. I think it's 15 tons.
Sure?
Yeah.
Click. Oh, sorry.
Well, I was wrong.
Yep.
Oh, it's 2 tons then.
2 tons.
Can't be the others.
Sorry.
What?
Try again.
What were the other options?
30 or 45?
30 tons then.
Correct.
I was going to say 2 tons is too much. I didn't think it was as much as the 30 tons. Well, there you go. I mean, do you think they were including what it was dragging or just the cat itself?
I didn't write this quiz, okay?
By the way, listeners, we're talking about a cat as in caterpillar tracked vehicle.
Yes.
It's
They
not
called it the
It's
cat.
not actually, they haven't got He-Man's battle cat or something like
That'd be good.
You know.
I'd watch that.
that. Crossover.
Question 12. What was the name of the bloke who was on top of the caravan before getting eaten?
The guy on top of the...
Edgar, Melvin, Nestor, or Grizzly Adams?
Oh, no, it's not Grizzly Adams.
Ooh, I think I know this one.
Say that again?
Edgar, Melvin, Nestor, or Grizzly Adams?
Edgar. I think Edgar's the one up the electricity pile. So... Who's the other two?
Melvin and Nestor.
I'm going to go Nestor.
Click. Correct.
Yay!
Last couple of questions.
Okay.
Question
I was going
13.
to ask you how many questions is in this.
What did it say on the side of Val and Earl's truck?
Oh.
Handymen for hire, VE odd jobs, Earl's ranch, Val and Earl perfections only handymen.
It's got to be the last one. Val and Earl's.
Wrong.
Really?
Yep.
That was the first one then.
Wrong.
Oh no. Second one.
Correct.
Oh God. No, I was completely.
Go on.
Totally.
You're almost there. Almost
Right.
there.
Okay, listeners, come on.
Question 14.
Root for me here. Root for me.
What's the registration on Burt and Heather's truck?
Oh gosh.
Uzi,
This is-
Uzi for you.
This is Uzi for you.
Worm Killer.
No, it won't be.
BFG 1. WWA R3. I think it's Uzi for you. Wait, am I supposed to be giving answers?
You shouldn't be here. Okay, I know you said that, but I think it's Uzi for you. Yeah.
It wouldn't be Worm Killer because that would be after the first one. Question 15. I think it's the last question.
Oh, was that right?
You were right.
Okay. Last question.
What's the name of the Doctor? Phil, Jim, Ike, or Grizzly Adams?
Phil, Jim, Ike. Ike.
Wrong, sorry.
Phil.
Nope.
Oh,
And it's not Grizzly Adams, so it must be Jim.
must be Jim.
Correct, well done.
Oh,
You have completed the quiz based on the first movie of Tremors.
well, there you go. Does this make me a Tremors fan? No, I don't
It
know.
tells me that you need to watch the Tremors movies again.
It does. I didn't do too bad.
You didn't
Come
do
on.
too bad.
Put your hands together for me.
Yeah. Thunderous applause from the audience.
From the audience. Okie dokie.
Okie dokie. So we're going to quickly go through all 7 Tremors movies and rate them from best to worst.
Right. Well, it's probably better in your putting the ball in your court, to be honest with you.
Okay, so
First movie.
first movie. Is it better than the second movie?
Yeah.
Yes, it
Well,
is.
it's the top mark. It's the one.
Okay, third one. Is it better or worse than the second movie?
Worst.
Worst. Okay. So fourth one. I think that would be second to the first one.
Oh god, this is too confusing for me now. I'm losing track.
Okay, so
Come on, what do you think?
I think it's going to be second place.
Okay.
Second place to the fourth one.
Okay, so the first movie is the top.
Yep.
Second place is the fourth.
Yep.
Could you watch the fourth if you've never seen any of them?
Yes, because it's kind of like a prequel. It tells you.
Oh, of course, it's the cowboy one.
Yeah.
Okay, so you could actually watch the fourth
First.
and then go and watch the
First
first
one.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would work.
Fifth one. Would you put that above the second and third one? I think.
Not. Is this the Arctic one?
No, this is the South Africa one.
I can't recall that too much.
Oh, it's hard for me because
Make a decision.
Make a
The
decision.
listeners are counting on you.
Oh.
Come on,
This might be controversial, but I'm going to put it
below.
below the second and third one because
Okay.
I grew up with the third
Second.
one,
Okay.
and I've seen the second one. I really liked it.
Okay.
Cold Day in Hell.
No, bottom.
No, sorry, that's bottom.
Bottom.
Then
Cold day and bottom.
Cold Day in Hell. Last movie is
Much better.
much better. Shrieker Island.
Where would you stick that?
Ooh,
Okay.
that's tricky.
First movie's tops. The cowboy and western one is second.
Third.
Is it gonna go better than your childhood memories? It's a good movie.
It's a good movie. Okay, I'm going to put it there.
There you
I'm
go.
going to put it third.
Okay, third. There we
So,
are.
in last place, we have A Cold Day in Hell. In sixth place, we have Bloodlines. In fifth place, we have Tremors 3 Back to Perfection.
Uh-huh.
In fourth place,
Yep.
we have Tremors 2 Aftershocks.
Yep.
In third place, we have Tremors Shrieker
Shrieker
Island.
Island.
Surprise third one there.
Yep. Second place.
Second place, Tremors 4 The Legend Begins. The
Yay.
Western one. We love
Western
that one.
with a punt gun.
Definitely very good.
And top spot.
Top spot, the original.
You
Tremors.
can never beat the original. There you go. Brilliant. Well, that's it. So Tremors Burt Gummer Day. Let's celebrate Burt Gummer and everything he's done for us all.
So thank you very much for joining us for celebrating Burt Gummer Day and the Tremors franchise, because
Yay.
we are really great fans of this franchise.
Yeah, it's a good one. If you haven't watched it, go watch it.
Definitely recommended. Watch it 100%. Now we're going to have a Now We Know Show flashback.
Oh,
So I'm going to cast your minds back to our prepping episodes.
which purpose episode?
So I'm talking specifically about prepping on a budget,
Oh, yes.
prepping for solar storms, and our recent episode, prepping for a zombie apocalypse.
Yes, which was a bit tongue-in-cheek, but fun.
Yes. So for your information and for our loyal listeners, those 3 episodes are in our top 5 episodes on Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcasts.
Way go,
Yeah.
listeners!
So they've been very successful. So
Obviously,
thank you
there's a
very
lot-
much for listening to
A
them.
lot of preppers and survivalists out there.
So if you'd like to listen to any more
Well,
prepping episodes,
We've definitely got a lot more prepping ones coming up.
definitely get in contact with us and we'll do some more.
Yes, we're definitely going to be doing one on EDCs, which are your everyday carry bags, and we're going to do one similarly on your bug-out bags, or bobs as they're known.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to bring out Jack Harris back in for those.
Yeah, Prepper Jack.
Prepper Jack.
Prepper Jack, back in the studio.
So that leads us to Word of the Week.
Word of the week, just
So-
to round off with.
Vomitorium. What was Vomitorium?
You're asking me that.
I'm asking you that.
Right, I might actually, for the first time, maybe, I might be able to answer you.
Oh yeah, do you think so?
I might be able to answer you. As far as I can recall, in ancient Rome, you had a room called a vomitarium. And it was when people went to banquets and feasts and they ate so much and drank so much that they couldn't drink or eat any more. And so you would, just like going to the toilet, you would go to the room known as the vomitarium and literally vomit and expel all the stuff in your stomach. Sounds gross, ladies and gentlemen, but that's what it was, a vomitarium. And then you could go back to the banquet and drink and eat more.
Right.
That's what a Roman vomitarium is.
That's what you're saying.
And yours is a
Vomitorium.
vomitorium. I think it's something similar.
Okie dokie. So, I'm glad you said that, because there is a stubborn myth going around about this word. But contrary to what you may have heard, a vomitorium wasn't a special room for the ancient Romans to throw up halfway through their meal so they could keep gorging themselves at a banquet. The word vomitorium comes from Latin and it refers to a passageway in a large building, like a theatre, where lots of people could pass in and out. And yes, they were so named because of the way people would simply spew out of the building.
So, well, I thought that a vomitarium was a thing.
Apparently it's a myth.
Like a sponge on a stick. Now, they did have sponges on a stick.
What? Well,
that's a whole different subject.
So, could it be said that as we kind of both try and leave this dungeon studio...
Leave the dungeon studio.
We're going to leave the vomitorium.
We're going to spew out of the
we're
studio.
going to spew out of the studio
Oh, how
as our
nice.
muscular shoulders collide.
We're going to have to shuffle through sideways.
Hopefully we haven't eaten anything dodgy
or drunk
this
anything.
time.
What a wonderful image to leave our listeners with in this episode, that we're spewing out of the studio.
I apologise, listeners.
Okay. Well, that was Word of the Week.
Yes, it was Word of the Week.
And I got it completely wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
You did exactly as I expected.
I fell into your trap.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please like and subscribe to this channel and comment below any suggestions of topics or activities you'd like to listen to in future episodes. That's a big Graboid goodbye from Zak.
And that's a big Burt Gummer ass-blasting goodbye from Buzz. Goodbye.
You can find the Now We Know Show podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music and Apple Podcasts. Check out the Zak Wylde Productions social media pages on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, or visit the Zak Wylde Productions website at www.zakwyldeproductions.com. Please get in contact, we'd love to find out how you're listening to us. So get in touch in the comments and don't forget to check out Zak Wylde Productions on Patreon to become an official ZWP patron today.